those perfect songs where Dave sings in a low key and, like, it's just spot on for him.
Mm-hmm. It really, like I say, New York is when that really came up. I got the idea of it at a lake, and then when I was in Central Park, right down below the Mayflower, I think it was like July. I thought, Jesus Christ, it's like Africa here. I mean, the humidity, because West Coast.
Yeah.
And you could tell I was from the West Coast because I'd stop when we see a red light, and all the rest of the New Yorkers keep walking, and the guy goes, he's from the coast. But
now
I enjoyed it,
Your Filthy Little Mouth, was that built to have such a wide variety of songs?
Yes, that's what he wanted, and we must have done 30 songs, but
wow.
Some of the ones that got away never ended up anywhere else, but then we went to a DLR band, and two of those songs that were written on there by me, I did when I was 16 years old.
Really? Wow. Which ones?
The original idea is, Going Places.
Uh-huh.
Going Places is definitely, that's an old idea, but you know what, I've never heard anybody come up with it, and he did a fabulous job on that. To me, that was our mag opus, because we did that in 7 days. He walked in there and we laid it down.
The whole album?
And we had a producer that was much more adept at rock and roll, Erwin Musper.
Yes.
Musper. Oh, yeah. He's the best of the best. I mean, he tore up Black Sand and rearranged it, and put it, got the math right for me.
So now, Terry, we saw you in 1994 at the Academy in Manhattan, and we saw you. We actually met you afterwards, both of us together. And
I remember you guys, because I was sober during that whole period. So.
Well, Dave, tell him what you said to him. Tell him what you said.
If you, first of all, I'm flattered you remember.
Yeah.
Because
I had the Academy was, you know how uptight Dave was about that gig. We're playing at the home studio tonight. We're at home base. Don't make me look bad in front of my partners. I thought, oh, Jesus Christ. And Nathan and Manny showed up, too, from the Cafe Wab.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So we went to the show. I actually had the CD booklet with me,
right,
which you signed, which I'm looking at. I still have. I'm looking at right now. And then we asked you about Dave, and I'll never forget this. And I've been waiting like over 20 years to ask you this question, Terry. I asked you about Dave, and you said he saved me.
Yeah, he did.
And what does that mean?
Well, what it means is that basically, Dave will tell you this. There's people who are specialists. I would be what you call a specialist. I mean, I can play live, and I am very much a technician. I can be very accurate. And, Dave isn't that way. When he does live, you don't know what you're going to get. But the thing is, he did make a point. He said, look, such a small percentage of the people are going to ever actually see you play those songs. They may hear it. And as time would have it, like with Filthy, it went platinum after so many years. I mean, it took 12, 15 years for it to get to where he was expecting it to go immediately.
Yeah.
But nobody really did very well that year. I mean, van-halen.
No, that was a rough year.
No, that was rough.
You know what? Because everybody was trying to it's like when you get to be my age, you try to reassign yourself to something, going, I got to reinvent myself. And you look at your old carcass going, well, Jesus Christ, the bumper's been in, and one of the valves is smoking, and, I've been very lucky, but David, he saved me, because I would have got lost in the milk float. There's so many guys that were really as good or better than me, and technically, maybe not the writing thing. I really try to write, because, what else are you going to do? I mean, if you're going to be remembered for being Ever Van Halen,
sure.
It was hard to grow up in his shadow, believe me, he was a king.
Yeah.
And I was like, I might have been one of the Dukes, but we saw good things, and a couple of nights I scared the hell out of Everett. And Alex would use me, like, Kilgore's playing it faster than you are, just whatever it was. I mean, like Ice Cream Man, you don't want to know where that the Soul of Ice Cream Man came from?
Where?
You're talking to him.
Really?
Yeah, I invented it wasn't an invention. I just fell upon this. I said, hey, look at this. Ed goes, hey. Next thing you know, he takes it up an octave, and that's the Soul of Ice Cream Man.
Really?
Wow.
His dad showed us that backwards saxophone lick that Ed always plays. It's a cornerstone of his style.
Wow.
It's a springboard. My grandfather was a sax player. Sax players know more about single notes than any guitar player. You know what I mean?
Sure. How did Edward take to when you came out with Dave in 1994 with your?
He gave me 4 5150 stacks.
Did he really?
Really?
Four brand new ones. So I left my high-watts at home.
So there wasn't any animosity or anything like that?
Not at all. I mean, he was glad to see me get something that, would make $600,000.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow.
Well, the government made more of it, you know. I had to do something to get Trump in, right?
Well, yeah.
So now,
What do you guys think about that? I mean, I want to know what New Yorkers think. Cause, you know, you guys should be moved out here. We should annex ourselves out of the United States because it should be called Dumb Fuckistan.
So here's why did you leave that tour early? Because we saw the tour again later on in the year, and you were gone from it. What happened?
Okay, this is what happened. We did that leg, then we went to Europe.
Yeah.
And then we came back across the United States again. What we did when they came back for the second round for you guys. In Japan, I got road pneumonia real bad, and I got it in Detroit on the first leg. I mean, I was sick when you guys saw me.
Wow.
But road pneumonia, when you travel that much, you can't shake it.
Right.
So I couldn't recuperate in 3 days, and we did the hop over to Japan. And I did 2.5 weeks over there, and I said, with all due respect, I want to go home because I'm dying.
Yeah.
It's like 100. When I get down to 168 pounds, it's like I've been in Auschwitz.
Right.
So basically, I went home, and Dave's degree goes, I'll fire you. We weren't really getting along. Dave was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
He was spending $16,000 a week on the crew. The buses were killing him, and the guys that managed him, they're hard to handle. AC/DC's band, they robbed him blind and just left him flat.
AC/DC's who?
AC/DC's hard to handle management.
Oh, okay.
That's between us and but I'm saying hard to handle management. They were crooks.
Oh, really?
Mike Andy was a great road manager, but he wasn't taking the money. It was the guys that the English guys. Hard to handle. They handled AC/DC and a couple other big guys.
Oh, okay.
And they saw that it was a sinking ship because we couldn't fill the sheds up. I mean, we couldn't fill the Coke and Seekin halls. It wasn't Dave. It was just the climate. John Corabi was out there with the Motley Crue. Lost his ass. I mean,
and let me tell you something. That Motley Crue album with John Corabi is unbelievable.
Probably a good record.
It's a fantastic record. It's probably the best musical record Motley Crue has made.
Oh, absolutely.
And it got really shortchanged.
Directions because he's more melodic.
Totally. He's a total musician. I mean,
His band Daisy's not doing too bad down in Nashville.
Yeah.
Terry, were you surprised? Like back around that time was when grunge was riding high. And it just seemed like really quick how all the hard rock and heavy metal top bands of that era, including Dave, were falling fast.
Oh, God, it's horrible.
It was going down. I mean, nobody knew what to do anymore. And I'll tell you what, there were so many friggin' guitar players wearing spandex and Aquanet in their hair from Pomona. But all you had to do was walk into the Whiskey A Go-Go and strike an Ohio blue chip match and throw it in the door. It would have detonated the place all the way back to Pomona.
Wow.
It was like everybody was the same. They were playing the same kind of solos and Ugly Kid Joe and this. You had East Coast bands, West Coast bands, and it was all crap. Really, there was good musicians in it. It was still crap. I mean, look at Billy Sheehan's Mr. Big, Paul Gilbert, great musicians, fantastic.
Yeah. Right.
You know what? The record sucked.
Yeah.
Because it was in that '80s thing. And
it didn't live up to the musicianship that was in the band. Paul Gilbert and Billy are geniuses. It didn't live up to it. But was there a lot of pressure coming down from Warner Brothers? Dave was on his last album.
They were really tough on him because see what happened to us, and this is it's common known. This is nothing I'm revealing, but it's in people that knew. Tucker Williamson was one of the meet and greet people, and Dave would get so weary of the meet and greets, he'd send me out, and I'd meet him, and try to be as cordial as possible, and they were interested. He said, Terry, we went out for 450 ads, and 300 of them just disappeared.
Wow.
So we thought we were going to be rich. I mean, at the Capitol Record thing, when it goes off for 450 ads, you're going to be rich.
Wow.
That's you get into the CHR money there. But, we never got past the AOR, and Tucker said, man, it's gone.
Wow.
Terry, when you first made the album, were you surprised that Dave was going in different directions and wasn't just doing another straight-ahead rock album?
You know what? I wasn't. I think he needed to because, he always does stuff clever, and I think he did some clever stuff. But, New York was a lot more cosmopolitan-type recording. If you're going to record hard rock, I would think that our hometown would be, we had Ocean out here, Freddie Steele's place. That's where we did the other record. But, it was so great to go to New York. And, I knew when I walked into Studio B at the Hit Factory and clapped my hands, I said, this is the room they did Mississippi Queen in.
Wow.
And how did you know that? I said, well, listen to the fucking plate,
Wow. What was it like working with Nile Rodgers?
Nile Rodgers, he's Guitar George. Let me tell you something. He knows all the chords.
Wow.
Really?
Rich Hilton and Nile Rodgers. Rich is a keyboard player that goes out with Nile. And, they're playing stadiums. arenas everywhere.
Wow.
Niles had a very, very, I never thought I'd see him play out live again. He's played more out live than anybody and made more money.
Wow.
They play festivals at, big things in Europe and all over the United States.
That's right.
If you go on their page and see what they're doing, it's astounding.
Now, Rich was the keyboard player on your Filthy Little Mouth, right?
He's a genius musician, genius level. Really. And he was out with us when we first started the tour to help the keyboards along. But it got kind of I think Dave saw it coming, and it really wasn't his fault. Nothing would have survived out there.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was over. You know what I mean? Because look, in '98, I almost had a deal with Geffen Records. Rome burned.
Right.
But you know what? It made me feel good to watch it burn, because I thought anybody that's going to get in now better be for real.
Absolutely. And at what point did you realize that the record wasn't going to fly? How soon into it?
Oh, it was real soon. It actually, I got big paychecks on that because it was publishing, but
right.
He managed to keep it up and going as long as he should have. He knew I had to go out and work it but he only survived 6 months, 6 or 7 months on the road, and I was with him 5 of it.
Right.
So the last 2 months I did that re-leg, and then it was never happened again. Then it was, next thing I know, he's got his hair long again, dyed white, and he's got the Atomic Punks playing behind him.
You reconnected for the DLR album, though, so how did...
it was not like I was fired or, it was like George Steinbrenner and Billy Martin.
Right.
I got fired all the time.
Right.
I got rehired. Because, when you go to school with somebody, look, you guys been together a long time, so if something's bugging you and your other partner, I don't give a fuck if you're a celebrity or not, kiss my ass. You're wrong. I did it. He yelled in my ear one night at Hiroshima. I said, God damn it, Dave, I'm going to lose my hearing. I was already at 132 decibels. You're going to yell on top of that?
Wow. Is he a real is Dave a real dictator?
He can be, let's put it this way, he's like Uther Pendragon. He just gets a little rash now and again. You know what, the kind of pressure that guy was under, he's paying for everything.
Right.
It was funny because when we got on the tour buses in Miami, they had a brand new Prevost, right? Beautiful. Rudy Liren's going, oh man, you guys are so lucky. And there's the old fucked up American Eagle that bad bearings and 300,000 miles on it, pulls up, and Dave goes, we're going to take the shitty bus and give the crew the good bus. It'll make us more like men. I thought, what are you doing? So the lower berth next to the Pinto motor, you know what I mean? It was like the bus driver comes back, goes, we're going through the Carolinas up back east now. He goes, you guys better sleep now because you're not going to be able to sleep a wink because of the potholes and shit, right?
Oh, man.
So he got a little sporty there, going up and down the United States.
You had talked about Dave before and the band members, and in Dave's autobiography, he had mentioned around this time that he was paying $1,500 a day for a drummer that couldn't keep a beat throughout the whole song.
Well, yeah, and Ron Mixo was a good drummer, but Ron did not pull any punches with him because we had so many drummers in that the front part of the band, me being the team captain musically, we were worn out, we were burnt out. I said, Dave, you can put me in here 12 hours a day, but after 4 hours, my ghost is going somewhere else.
Right.
You saturate when you... I thought we should have played it the hour-and-a-half set and done it and left and do that 7 days a week. Pretty soon, you don't know how to do it wrong, That's the trick.
Now, Ron was your live drummer, and he was really good
on the tour. We had Larry Aberman, Ray Brinker. Oh, my God, a lot of people played drums with Tony Beard.
Right.
Really, all of them are good, but Dave scares people.
Yeah.
He scared a few drummers out of there. Larry had a hell of a time because, most guys, it's like Slim Pickens. He goes, how do you expect a fella to move his valve and you're pointing a bear rifle at him? You know what I mean? It's like, I could take the pressure. And Dave, some nights he'd get mad. I said, what the fuck is he mad at me for? I never make any mistakes.
Right.
But in Philadelphia, I tried to do something at the end of jump, and I ended up on my back on my head. But then I seen, other people fall all the way off the stage, off the risers 12 feet. So,
Was it strange for you to be playing Eddie's songs like some of the Van Halen?
I didn't like it one bit. And you know what? I have an aversion to Van Halen style because it was his. And don't you dare learn any of it because if I start playing like him, then it chills me.
Right.
So we were very similar, but not, you know the difference between it. You go, hey, look, it's just not Edward Van Halen. He's not trying to be Edward Van Halen.
Right. And
that was me before Edward was Ed.
Sure.
Believe me.
Sure. And in terms of the title track, Your Filthy Little Mouth, what was the inspiration behind that, and what made you title the album after it?
Well, he titled the album on his own. I knew he was going to do it. He said, because he contended that most people that are intelligent cuss all the time anyhow. This is a survey that they take now and say. But, yeah, I wanted the effect of say you're in a club, you hear a honky-tonk piano, your glass is flying and breaking, and there's a bouncer beating the shit out of somebody. That was what we were looking for. When he started up, it's like, it's like a small train leaving the station, but it's a bar.
Right.
He wanted to get everything he wanted to try to put as much visual persona into stuff as possible. And I think really it was kind of a weird art project, because now I look back at it and I like the record.
Yeah, it's a fun record. Do you think it was a wrong move to release Nightlife as the second